Imagine possessing the knowledge to be able to navigate the treacherous waters of conversations, avoiding landmines that could shatter connection and breed misunderstanding. Picture this. You're engaged in conversation, walking on a tightrope between connection and chaos. One word can literally turn off the man and spiral the conversation out of control. But you don't have to fear that, right? Because a lot of people who are naive, unfortunately, a lot of people who are speaking with their emotions fail to understand that some of the things they say that they're not thinking about, that they're not thinking thoroughly about, turns people off. So today I'm going to be arming you with an arsenal of weapons to prevent you from falling on those landmines and causing a conversation and a connection with a man that could have gone great, but now you've turned it off. I could clearly, man, there were so many times when I was dating a girl that she looked perfect, but she told me one thing that she thought I was gonna be cool with, unfortunately, and it just turned me off. It just did. And there are some things that guys just can't forget. There are some things that when you say, a guy just cannot forget that. And a lot of women, and this is where we're gonna talk about the first one. A lot of women think that because guys say that they don't judge you, that they really don't judge you. Let me tell you something, boo-boo. We do judge. Unfortunately, men judge women's, which is the first one, sexual history. Don't tell a guy that another guy that you did freaky dicky shit with a guy, and that with the guy that you're with, you're not gonna do no more. Don't tell a guy that you had a freaky dicky freaking high school years where you did crazy stuff and now you don't. Like, you think that sounds cool because maybe feminism has told women to do whatever you want and express yourself, but unfortunately guys still have the brain that has been wired to judge women who have a lot of sex, especially early on. That's just how guys are. We can't help it. We can't. Even me, as being super liberal, I still cannot help it, right? I remember one time this girl told me she had like a foursome when she was, I think, 17 or something like that, and with a guy and 3 girls. And I'm not gonna lie, that turned me off. Like, that, because to me, I don't know why. It's just like there was a part of me that was like resentful. There was a part of me that felt jealous. There was a part of me that and the funny thing is about that, I couldn't control it. I could not control it. People will say, "Oh, Father Alex, weren't you doing that?" No, I wasn't. I was in church when I was a teenager. But she literally told me that, and she was a great girl. And she told me that, and it just turned me off. Completely turned me off. Why? I don't know, man. There was a part of me that got mad that somebody was able to do all of those things with her and not me. You know what I'm saying? So that's how guys see a woman's sexual history. It's possessive. It is toxic to a certain degree, and it cannot be changed. Like, you can't change that. I wish I could change it, right? Because, but I just cannot. You guys judge women's sexual history. So stop telling guys that you banged the whole football team and get mad because he doesn't like you no more. Or because he doesn't respect you no more. We can't help it. It's like me getting mad at you for salivating because there's food. You can't help but salivate. There are some things that are wired, and guys, unfortunately, judge women who are promiscuous. That is just the fact. So keep that to yourself. Even if you live in hyper liberal New York City, you still gotta act like you're the saint among sinners. You still got, even if your whole friend group banged out 50 dudes, you gotta make sure you let them know that you're not like that. And the beauty about guys is that they believe whatever you tell them. If you told them you've been with 5 guys, you've been with 5 guys. That's the fact. All right. So stop telling guys your freaky history, because that turns guys off. People, I'm telling you, man. The next one is being rude around other people. This one is something that you guys can relate. But being rude to waitresses, being rude to people who are below you or people who are servicing you, says a lot about your character. And if that guy does not get turned off by you being rude, just understand that he's also rude, and he's going to be rude with you. And by the way, people, we have 50% off all of our courses using the coupon code MINDFUL. So that means you guys can purchase the Psychological Game of Attraction, which is a course for single women, Natural Chemistry, which is a course for women who are in relationships, Nice Girl, which is a course for women who need to assert themselves and learn how to be more assertive, and not get played. You could purchase Charisma Blueprint, which is my recent course, which is about how to develop charisma. And you could purchase Emotional Mastery, which is a course on how to master your emotions so that you don't let people make you needy, make you, and also that course helps you apply these strategies. It really does. It's pretty much the meditation practice that I have and the practice that I have to control my emotions. So and the discount ends at the end of the month. So that means we have a week and a half left with this discount, people. Purchase it or else I'm closing the channel. And also you can get 20% off one-on-one coaching calls with me, okay? Now look, the next one is losing your cool. Losing your cool. I remember the craziest girls that I've met lost their cool. And I remember I had a girl who I met at a yoga studio. She came home and she started having a conversation. I remember she started talking about her traumas. And when she started talking about her trauma, she started getting louder and angrier. And then she started crying. And I'm like clutching at my pearls. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, should I call the cops? Like, because she was talking so loud that the neighbors could hear her. And then she was talking about her traumatic life and stuff like that. And mind you, I just met her like 2 hours ago. We were just having freaking coffee, like, you know? And so she was just bringing on this, like, just like her traumas on me. And unfortunately, you can't bring those things up because it could be bringing up emotional vulnerabilities, like getting, raped and stuff like that. That's a lot on the first date, man. That's a lot. And some men may feel uncomfortable discussing deep and emotional vulnerable situations. So it's better to gauge their comfort level unless they tell you first, then you could bring it up, but don't bring that up because, nothing says I'm psycho than intense emotions on the first day. I'm telling you, like, my brain will think you're psycho, even though you're not. Like, you don't want to have the crazy girl vibe. Even if you're cute, crazy girl vibe is not relationship type of energy. The next one is, we talked about how many men you slept with, the freaky deaky stuff, how rich your family is. Please don't talk about the castle that you have in Ireland. Don't be talking about that kind of stuff because some guys are looking for a sugar mama. All right. Don't bring up your money. Don't bring up how much money you make or how much money your family makes. Try to look like you are below middle class, if you could, please. Like, in fact, studies show that guys prefer women who are more of low income. That is a fact, people. That is a fact. I'm sorry. Like a girl who makes $1 million a year versus a girl that makes $50,000 a year, guys are gonna pick the $50,000 a year girl. They're gonna feel more masculine. They're gonna feel more satisfied. In fact, guys will have harder erections when you earn less. like guys, like literally, guys have a harder erection whenever you earn a lot less than they do. And the reason why that is because when a woman earns more than a man, a lot of studies show that it actually causes more divorce, right? Studies show that when a woman earns more than a man, a guy would cheat more and his testosterone gets lower when a woman earns more than another man. And is that sexist? Yeah, you could say that 100%, right? Because it's why do you need to feel uncomfortable at the fact that I earn a lot of money? Well, the truth is that that's just how guys are. Let me Google this right here. It says that, let me find it. Men, erectile dysfunction, women earning more, right? Okay, there you go. It says prevalence factor, sexual dysfunction in women partners with, yeah. I can't find it right here, but yeah, there is a definitely, you guys can Google it, how when a woman earns more than a man, they suffer more with erectile dysfunction, right? So a woman who earns less, their sex life is a little bit better. Women who earn more, their sex life isn't as good, right? Now, the next one is criticizing him, right? Criticizing him. And on the first date, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, what's up with that, right? Don't criticize people on the first date. And one of the ways that people criticize is, one, comparisons, comparing him to somebody else, comparing him to your ex, right? Refrain from comparing him to other men or bringing up past relationships. Refrain from that. And if you bring up your past relationships, don't talk bad about your ex. Talk good about your ex, all right? Tell him how good looking that motherfucker was. Tell him how great of a man that was. All right, don't make it seem like it was abusive, even though if it was negative, none of that kind of stuff. Talk good about your ex, right? And the next thing is right with criticism is size related topics, right? Avoid making comments about his height, about that you prefer guys that are taller, that you prefer guys that are lighter skin, darker skin. Well, you don't have to say you prefer guys that are darker skin, but you could just say the guy that you dated was Tyrone. You know, who's gonna think Tyrone's a white dude? You could refrain from talking about that. You could refrain from talking about weight. You could refrain from talking about dick size, people. Yeah, that's right. Don't talk about that kind of stuff. All right. There are some things that you just don't bring up, especially when you're just meeting the guy. Right. And also along with that is belittling him, emasculating comments. Steer clear of belittle him and making him feel less masculine, as this can be hurtful or damaging in a relationship. Like, for example, ordering for him. What the fuck are you doing? Right? Or for example, saying that you there's some women have their own direct ways of belittling a guy, but don't emasculate a guy. The next one is private matters. Respect boundaries and avoid discussing private matters without consent, such as personal health. Like, do you have Ebola? Personal matters, such as family issues or previous sexual experiences. Like I said, because those things are things that you want to be able for a guy to bring up on its own, but don't be bringing up any type of disease, unfortunately, any illnesses that you may have, or even like mental illnesses, like that you're bipolar, stuff like that. Wait for the second date, right? Talk about that on the second date. Like, sometimes people cannot accept that you have that, but if they like you, they're more willing to accept it. You know what I'm saying? And life is not about compromise. So it's kind of like a guy will, like, it's not unethical to not bring up that you have bipolar on the first date. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have it. There's nothing wrong with that. But bringing it up on the first date and freaking having tears, that's a little too much. And for me, it might say, okay, if she's crying now, what happens later on? Like, this is not good. All right. So that's one thing. And that's it, people. This is a very simple video, because yesterday, people, the video that I made was really long, and I needed a break because it was a lot of videos. Anyways, if you guys ever want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org. You guys know where to go. And in the comment section, let me know what are other things that you guys shouldn't bring up on a date. Let me know in the comment section so that other people could read it. Okay? All right. Take care. Bye.